So what we're going to do now is link up with the button that we had when we created this XML. So we created this button here, and what we need to do is actually link it to our program. Okay, and we set this ID here so that the program could sort of know which button I was talking about. So maybe I've got 4 or 5 buttons, they would all have a different ID. So in my program, what I'm going to do is inside here, now everything that we do at the moment in our main program, if we've got it in our main XML, the text view and the button, sorry, I'm sort of losing the thread here, we need to declare them in the main program. They have to be in the main program, and that's going to be sort of difficult later on because we want to use one of those, the text field, in here. So I can't declare everything I want in the main program. I'm going to have something a little bit global which will be available to both of these, the onCreate and the JSON task. But I'll come to that in a minute. The first thing I'm going to do is set up the button. And unlike Python, we have what we call types. Now the button is of type button. Okay, and it's from a library called Android Widget. Now I mention that because from time to time you will find that you have to import this library yourself. It won't do it for you automatically. So I'm just going to click on that button, and if I open up my imports, we can now see that it's imported the button. If I'd have typed and continued typing the line, it wouldn't have imported because we haven't used the automatic features, and you would have to click. Let's see if I can actually demonstrate that to you. Let's delete this and delete my button. Well, there we go, we've got it, it's now in red. You would have to, it will say I cannot resolve the symbol button, meaning that we haven't got the library available to us. Got a red light bulb here trying to fix the error. If I hadn't got that, I could probably click up here on the little red symbol to try and show me what the error was. Never choose this one, indexing all the API code, don't do that one. If you click on the button, okay, and then click on the red, hopefully, no, we haven't got it. Difficult actually getting the error message to appear. However, we understand what the error message is, and if we just type in here import Android .widget button, then it will know the library that contains the information for the button, and it will take away the error. Again, depending on your IDE in Windows or in Mac, you may get these little light bulbs appearing at the side. The orange ones are just cautions, saying that you could be better off if you included some more code, and the red one saying you've got an error, definitely you know how to, you've got to fix it. So there we go, I've got my type button. Now I can give my button any sort of name, it's just a variable, so I can give it a name. I'm going to call it activate data, and I'm going to set it to, now that's the same in Python, you've got to set it to a value, but what I need to do is set it or link it to this button here. Okay, I've got to pick up that ID from this button and set it on there. And the way that that happens is that I have to say that it's of a type button. Notice these are in brackets, we need that. And then find view by ID, notice that it's a lowercase f to begin with. Find view by ID, okay, if I click the message we get the open and close brackets, and there is a special file called an R file lives in one of these folders, which contains all of the resources that are in your main XML file or any other XML file that you may have. And we access it by typing R, which is the file name, then dot, and the attribute that we wanted was ID. So we could find layout, layout, text, layout, layout, text. The one that I want is ID. So I put in ID and then another dot, and then it looks through all the IDs that it's got, and as you can see, we've got activity main, button press, which we set, text, JSON text, which we set, and then class. So the one we need is the button press. And finally, we just need to put the semicolon at the end of the line. So briefly, what I went through is I started off by typing button, and because I'd used a new type and that my program wasn't aware of what that new type was, it was in a library, I had to import the library. If you use the automatic feature, it would import the library for you automatically. You won't even be aware of it. If it's red at the end of the day, then you're going to have to type in import android.widget.button yourself to get the library. Then I set a variable name called active data, and I set it to, it's of type button. It needs to know what type it is, and here's our button type. And then I used a function name, find view by ID. Please make sure you start it with a lowercase f, otherwise you'll have an error. Very difficult to spot. And then inside the brackets I needed my special file. Let's see if I can find that one. It's in here somewhere. It's in one of these folders. No, still can't find it. Anyway, there's a file called R. Inside there, it's listing all of the features, such as layout, ID, text of all the items in your XML files. The one we wanted was an ID, because we'd said it was going to be an ID, and then we chose button press from that. So that is the way to declare a button on your main program, in your main thread. It will, if we're going to write different activities, which we can have many activities, to use just different screens that pop up on your phone, these things are going to change a little bit where we get them from, but you'll see that later.